Welcome to her Playbook podcast, your go to space for unfiltered, real conversations about successful beauty queens in Uganda. My name is Ramonah, your host, and on the set today, I have an amazing woman, I should say. She was with me. We struggled together in the pageant industry, so she has a lot to tell us. She was in Miss Tourism Busoga. She went ahead to represent Busoga at Miss Tourism Uganda, and she has been doing so many things. So I can't wait to dive into the conversation with her, what she thinks about the pageant industry, where she has been, what she's up to, and what we should expect from her. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ramonah, Shantal, Olunda.
Yay!
It's been long, but it's so amazing to see you, and you look amazing.
Oh, thank you. You
And
look good too.
congratulations.
Thank you. I mean,
I know, right? Yeah, so it's so nice to have you on the set.
Thank you
And
for having me.
I know we have a lot to talk about.
We do. I like the part where you said the struggle was really in Busoga.
I know, that is like a story for a whole day, but we'll try to break it down to our viewers and listeners. So how have you been generally?
I've been good. I've been good. Been busy, but I've been good. And I like that you're doing this. You know, I don't know if your viewers know this, but you can breathe life into a girl who wants to get into pageantry. So I like that you're doing this.
That's nice. So, Ramonah, in just a brief, before all this pageantry, what was Ramonah up to? Who was Ramonah? Who was she generally for someone that is watching you?
Before pageantry, I was into events management. It's an industry that I got into really young. Like you're in your vacation, you don't have papers, but you want to earn. I got into pageantry. No. In the events. But before events, around my S5, I did modeling. That's how modeling pushed me into events. That was ushering and sales. Yeah, so I had a company. It was an ushering and marketing company before joining Miss Tourism or pageantry. Yeah,
you were someone that really your passion for work is really amazing. It's something that I picked from you.
Yeah.
And I think you started from a young age. I remember when you just me a story of how you used to take avocado to school and sell it off and collect money.
I know. And I did that at 14, 13. No one believes it, but I had a lot of money at 14 and 13. I would take avocado from home because we had avocado trees. That's what I told you. And to school, we had very many kids eating posho, but they didn't like posho. So I'd cut avocado with tomatoes and give salads. 500 shillings, 1K. I collect a lot of money at home. It was a punishment, but later on, my parents see me and they're like, "You've always wanted to be a business girl. Just go for it."
Go for it. Yeah. Oh yeah, true. So you hear about Miss Pageants, Miss Tourism. What was your drive? What expectations did you have going into pageants? Where did even the idea come from? When you sat there, what drove you to join pageants?
So, like I said, I liked making money from a young age. And I think this wanting to make money came from the fact that I grew up an orphan. I grew up with my grandmother who had retired. So you see someone has retired, you're home, you have needs. Of course, I had a guardian who paid my school fees and all that, but you want to make something extra. I always came up with ideas of making money, but I had a low self-esteem. Like I would make all this money, but I'll front someone else to do it. Like even in that canteen where I was doing salad, someone else was the face. I was always in the shadow because the self-esteem. Now I meet a friend. We went to school together in high school. She's called Janelle. She was actually training at Miss Tourism. And she told me about it. She's like, "Ramonah, you're pretty, you're tall. I think you should join Miss Tourism. You win." Now for her, she pushed me in it to win.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, it's a challenge for me to go and participate and be around so many girls and compete. Maybe it will help with my self-esteem.
Yeah.
So that's how I heard about Miss Tourism and pageantry. And the goal what motivated me or what inspired me was that. I was like, maybe it will help
To
with my
help your
self-esteem.
self-esteem.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've made up your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go for auditions for Mr. in Busoga.
Yeah.
What was your experience? It is your first time.
Yes.
You were just getting into something. How was the
Yes.
experience?
Oh, it was scary. It was scary. I was raised by my grandmother who was a Muganda and my guardian was a Muganda. But my father's side, my paternal side, they stay in Iganga.
Exactly.
So I had to represent Busoga that I know nothing about.
Yeah.
There I was. I went to Ginger. They told me auditions are in Ginger, this place. I went. Girls were speaking Busoga. First of all, when you're coming from a different world, if you've not been a model or into pageantry, pageant girls can bully you. Oh my God. So I went there and it was new. Everything was shocking. People were speaking a language I don't speak, but I knew it was my father's language. Yeah, I think, yeah, it was a bit. I was there, like, okay. I hope you get it.
It was of course a new environment for you. So
yes.
when Busoga was done, and now there is national pageant, like the national stage, you have to come and now meet 30 plus girls in the national boot camp. What
now that was interesting for me. Meeting girls from Karamoja. I knew Karamoja existed, but meeting a person from Karamoja had never. Meeting people from Karamoja, there was Chigezi, there was like West Nile. I used to, there is a way, real world actually, can cocoon you. You'll be in a space where you're not exposed. And I was in a space where I wasn't exposed. I come from a home where everywhere you're going, they drop you, they pick you, so I wasn't very exposed. This was a chance. I think going back to Busoga, I didn't want to come for nationals because remember when I joined the pageant, I came in with I want to earn something from this, my self-esteem. I came with grace, kindness, and love. And then I met girls. There was this girl. She's actually a friend now, Barbara Katali. She bullied me like I was like, I'm not doing this. And there were girls. The trainer in Busoga trained in a way of fight for your space. Do this. He was rough, he was abrasive, and it was new for me. I got really frustrated. Towards the end, I was like, I want to get done with this. I'm not a tough love kind of girl. I'm a grace kind, soft kind of, I got intimidated. Of course, we won with you and in it. It was nice, but I was like, I'm not doing this again. It's not what I expected. I don't think I'll get what I want for me. I went back home. Close to going for nationals. Now they tell me the whole story. There will be 3 girls from different regions, and that excited me. I'm like, what? I've never been in an environment where there are so many girls. I've not been in boarding schools. If I was there, it was like 1 year, 2 years, and I'm out. So just living with those very many girls from different cultures, speaking different, I was shocked with Busoga alone. Now imagine I was going to stay with girls speaking what? Acholi, Kijong, what? Kigezi. It triggered me, and I really wanted to go for nationals. So that part was really interesting about Miss Tourism. I don't know if Miss Uganda or other pageants are like that. I think Miss World is like that, getting girls from different regions, different countries, different tribe, different culture. It's nice.
Okay. So what can you say changed about you, after the pageant? Do you feel like your experience in pageant had an effect on your character as an individual, the way you see life? Did life change after that?
It did, tremendously. It did. I made friends. I made friends. Before that, I was a person that would have one friend, and I'm good with that. I wasn't good with people. I was a bit like non-social. It's so funny that I was working in events and I was non-social. But it helped me learn how to live with different people, with different characters. Even up to now, I live with people who someone else might think, oh, this person has a weird character, and I'm okay living with them for me because pageantry taught me how to live with people with different characters and like just live harmoniously with them. Yeah, I think it changed my way of my social way of living.
Okay, so give us that one. I don't know if you remember any funny, memorable moments that you had in your pageant life that when you sit down and you think about it, you're like, this was very funny.
I don't know if they know this. This was in public, but I used to look at Karen. It's okay to mention names? The girls from Karamoja. There was Karen, there was Celine.
Celine, and I think, what was her name? I don't remember her other name.
There was another one. And for me, because I grew up thinking, oh, we won't wait for Karamojong to develop. They are naked. They eat blood. So all those things that I grew up hearing about them, I would like every day make sure I look at Karen or Celine, and these are Karamojong. I went back home and everyone laughed like, hey, Bambi. Other girls were doing their own thing. You were there staring at them like a thing.
They couldn't believe they were real people.
I know. I'm like, they are real. They speak well. Oh my God, they don't eat blood. No, they're okay, actually. It was so funny.
Oh, it was so funny. I think for me, like the funniest moment I remember when we were in Busoga, and Enid had an accident and she fell. And everyone was like, the queen has fallen.
I actually thought about that, but I didn't recall the exact words she said. But I remember we laughed. It was so funny. That girl claimed to be a queen even before the fall. She was like, oh my God, the queen has fallen.
That's so funny.
It was funny.
Apart from the memorable moments, what are those challenges that you faced in your pageant life? Challenges you faced, and how were you able to overcome them?
It was not entirely about me, but during pageantry, let's start from Busoga. It didn't feel nice because for me, I was there not for the crown. Deep down, I knew I wasn't there for the crown. I was there for myself gains, which I gained. I'll tell you about it. But watching girls who were working very hard towards getting the crown, and then I think the night before crowning, the girl I was sleeping with was called out by one of the trainers. And then she came back because we were sharing rooms. And then she came back with a list of questions. And I didn't understand what those questions were, but she was rereading all these questions. Then in the morning, I realized, she was given the questions they were going to ask. So it disappointed me right from Busoga. And I felt like this is not real. Okay, not for me, but for other girls who are really working hard for this, who are here on merit. They really want it. I think that's something that I didn't take well. Until now, I think about it. I'm like, is it still happening? Because that we were in 2015.
I feel like everyone has had the experience in that way. It couldn't be questions, but as you go into pageant, sometimes you really feel like a trainer has favored a contestant, and it puts you down because deep down you feel like you've put in a lot and you want to win. So when you find those things, it sets you aback and you wonder if you're even in the right place. So it does still happen.
It does.
It does still happen.
Yeah, that's something.
So the lights fade and Miss Tourism is over. And now Ramonah has to go back into the real world, and you're a person of many hats. You're in events, you're a decorator, you're humanitarian, you're so many things.
Yes.
How did you manage to just find your footing in these spaces?
Now, when the lights dead on my side. I know for others who were there for the crown and everything, that was the end. For me, that is when I appreciated pageantry more. Because once I left the boot camp, I was a different person. I had a different narrative. I looked at life differently. I was more social. Like I said, like before that, I had my events company running already. That's why when I went in pageant and they were winning a car and going abroad, I wasn't really bothered. I was like, oh, I bought myself a car at 18. I went abroad already. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But the confidence, the personality I got out of it changed my business life now. With events, I wasn't always the person pitching my own ideas. I used to have ideas, write them down. I think I used to even pay someone to write my proposals. And then pitch them for me. I would execute. After pageantry, I went and wrote my first proposal. Because in pageants, I don't know if people know this, but to be a beauty queen, they always push you to have a purpose.
A purpose, yeah.
Actually, they ask you, what's your cause? What's your purpose? So you're pushed to know that, or to live with, I must have a purpose in life, or a purpose for anything, because they ask, what's your purpose for being here? Now, I came out with a purpose. Now, I was very intentional with my living. I started writing my own proposals. It took me a while, but I still gained confidence to even pitch my own proposals. That's saving. If you're in events management, you know that you pay kakad, 500 for these people to write for you. Some even write for 3 million. So that was me saving my 1 million of writing, me saving my 1 million for someone to pitch for me. And my company, that's when I grew into decoration, sound. Now I knew I can do anything. You know, when you're confident, you feel you can do everything. Before I was limited. What I'm good at, I'm good at. But after pageantry, I felt I can do anything. If I put my mind to it, I can do it. So it grew from glam agency to epic marketing now. After pageantry and that confidence. I can pitch, I can write, and while you're writing, you're like, but I can include sound here. I can include tents. I don't have tents, but I know Jude has. You become even sharp in the way you. My craft became much better.
Much better. Oh, that's amazing. So you are doing something that is, I believe, it's so close to your heart. I have seen you put your heart into it.
Yes.
You have sacrificed so many things you'd want to do with your life for just this one passion. So after pageantry, what drew your passion to working with people living with disabilities?
Yes. After pageantry, I lost my grandmother who raised me. I told you I grew up as an orphan. She raised me, She was the only person I knew, and maybe my brother. So my brother gets an accident. That was a year after pageantry, 2016, because I was beauty queen 2015. 2016, my brother gets an accident, which leads to his leg being amputated. My grandmother heard about that and got a stroke and died. It was a black moment for me, very dark. I don't even know how to explain it for you. I was doing events still. Oh my God, I hope I don't cry.
No, it's okay.
I was still doing events, and my grandmother passed away. My brother has lost a limb. I felt alone. Left alone. Now, I watched my brother. I, of course, mourned for my grandmother, but I had to live with my brother who still had life, but no limb. I watched my brother go through stigma. And I didn't know this happens to persons with disabilities until it happened to my brother. He lost his job. They gave him unclear reasons. After struggling, you've lost your leg, we've gone through rehabilitation, he goes back to get his job. They give him a letter.
They can't
sack him. He drives. I was with him in the car, of course, monitoring him. He still had a bandage on his limb. A traffic officer stops us. This is driving authority people, and says, "Oh, mister, you what's wrong?" He explains, I got amputated, but now we are going somewhere. Because it's a right that was off. But with an automatic car, you can still drive with the left. He was still driving all right. The guy confiscated his driving license. And all these things were shocking and pushing me to the edge. I'm like, this is wrong. Mentally, he's struggling, keeping up with the fact that his life has changed. Now you're taking away his driving rights. You're taking away his working rights. There was a woman here, Twalumwana way. I'm like, So a person with a disability in Uganda, abaziza musango.
It's like you don't no longer have a right to live normally.
Exactly. I'm like, my brother just might kill himself, and he's all I got at this point. I started with this frustration of it ends with my brother. If it was happening to anyone with a disability out there, it ends with my brother. I'm going to stand up. Again, going back to the confidence I got from Miss Tourism. I'm like, I'm standing up for my brother, and not only my brother, for any other person out there with a disability, and they are going through this. And I put up a post. That's the post. Persons with disabilities called me in Busoga. I had a friend, Begam, showed me where they kakun. They don't let them go into bars. The blind, they have to drink bouquet amara. I'm like, this is wrong. And I started posting about it. Now, while I was posting, I thought I was going to get the government's attention or an organization that takes care of persons with disability. It just led me to registering an NGO and run it to support persons with disabilities. That's how I started, and I got so much fulfillment out of it. It was more fulfilling than events. Events made me money, but this was a purpose. Now I feel like I had finally identified my purpose. That's how I opened and started the organization. We help legal support, physio, medical, and it's called Fena Tujune. It started with Fena Tujune, collective help, my friends, my everything. I named it Fena Tujune and started that.
Do you think this organization that you started maybe made your bond stronger with your brother? Did it give him a better perspective of life as well?
Yes, he had lost hope. He was like, okay, now I'm done. In Uganda, when you're disabled, you're done, you're ruined. But when he saw me stand up, not just for him, and he saw so many people applaud me. When I went to Bukit, the people were clapping hands when I was walking into the interview room because I was speaking and saying things people were not really saying. Even ministries that represent persons with disability, commissioners don't say these things, and they're happening. So I was on TV talking about them, and my brother felt like, oh, maybe God made it happen on me so you can support other people. He also found some bit of joy out of that. You're like, okay, I'm disabled for a purpose so that you help other people. Yeah.
Okay, that's so nice.
Yeah.
People go through a lot when you're starting a business or anything.
Yes.
So what challenges have you faced when starting this organization? Could be negative. What have you really faced in trying to establish this organization to be able to create the impact that you really want?
The challenge I'll mention first of all is something that this girl, Dr. Jean Muchibi, is facing in the media world. She's getting all claps and applauds. Yeah. She's pretty, she's this. But in the real world, where Ministry of Health and all, I know she's getting challenges where people look at her like she's a pageant girl. She's not serious. She's here for Butala. She's, yet this is a girl who passed with good grades. She's showing girls that you can be beautiful and still make it. You understand, in the medical world or anything. I also got the same challenge. The fact that I had that background of Miss or pageant or modeling, I was knocking on some doors, and some people who knew about that past or who would go on my social media and say that they didn't take me really serious. It was a challenge, but I later yeah, I did. There are people, I think in Uganda, they didn't even embrace me that much, but abroad, and lucky we have social media. You do your work here, once you put it online, it's captured all over the world. People outside Uganda embraced me. They didn't care about my past. Those people don't care even if you have dreads, you have this. But in Uganda, offices still, they still look at me like, beauty queen, she's what now? What is she saying? Yeah, this is a challenge. But the fact that I have now bigger support, it doesn't matter in Uganda, really.
So when someone hears about Fena Tujune, collective effort.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, what does Fena Tujune do? How do you, offer this support? for people living with disabilities?
Financial journey is collective help. I started this wanting to do collectively. Like when we have Christmas, you say that I can afford 4 million to throw a Christmas party, but I want to collect 50,000 from you, 40,000 from someone else, and 30, so that we all make it happen for those children. It's a different feeling that I want everyone to get. Fenato June, first of all, supports persons with disability legally. Like what happened to my brother, how he lost his job. We got a lawyer. So I partner with firms, law firms, who offer us pro bono services. If you're a person with a disability and you're facing challenges at work, you're not paid equal salary like others, we come in, stand in for you. We give you a lawyer to stand in for you. So legal, we support them legally free of charge. And we also support with physiotherapy. Physiotherapy amends or deformities. It corrects deformities in children, especially because some mothers, when they give birth to a child with a disability or with a weak spine, they are like, man, are disabled? That's it. Let them sleep. Let's get a wheelchair done. Yet they can correct the deformity. So we also offer physiotherapy for free. And we dress them up because I got a lot of confidence from that runway. We partner with Kampala Kids Runway and take them on runways to
I think I've seen it before.
It's happening again in May. It's we take them on runways, boost their confidence, because I realize while the society stigmatizes and discriminates them, they have taken in so much of this that they've accepted living in corners. Their confidence is down, they are low, they are okay. They even say, no, don't worry about us. We are good in this corner. We also boost their confidence through fashion. We dress them up. Like now we have a 5-year funding where clothes come in from Netherlands, brought in by Kelem Foundation, just to dress them up. When someone looks good, they feel good.
You feel good about yourself.
You feel good about yourself. You're more confident. And that's a feeling everyone needs to achieve what they want to achieve. You first have to feel good about yourself, then achieve. So we make sure I boost their confidence, support legally, medical physiotherapy. But our main goal is to enforce, because now I will not say advocate. It's already in policies written, but make sure inclusion is implemented, social inclusion from schools to job markets, include persons with disabilities. So now we register those who have abilities, like media, craft. We write them and look for jobs. Like organizations that have embraced this so far is MTN and Coca-Cola. They call us. They are like, do you have someone with a disability who can do call center? And you recommend them. So we are trying to place them in those spaces and have them be included.
Okay. So what are those few misconceptions, having been around people living with disabilities? What misconceptions do you feel like the environment has when it comes to people living with disabilities?
They think they cannot do anything. Most people think when someone is disabled, they can't do nothing. They forget that when God takes away one thing, He blesses you with something else. So if they don't have eyes, they have this vision, emotional vision that you cannot compare with. I think the misconception we have is when someone is disabled, that's it. They can't do nothing. But given a chance, if you just bring them to the table, even the government should know this. Like if they gave them a chance and brought them to the table and had them exercise their abilities, they can earn us so much revenue. They can do so much. So there was also neurological disability, which is autism. This is Autism Month. I don't know. It's April. Autism Month. Autism is related to witchcraft. And because it happens mostly gabana babaga, people be like, oyo mwana bamungayo. That's why Alizondo. But it's a neurological disorder, and there are people who have done so well with it. You practice and do well. Like Messi, this footballer, he has autism. but he's doing so well. He's earning revenue. He's doing well. NHR with autism, we even have schools, we have clinics. They work on them and help them copy with it and exercise what they can do. It could be piano, what they do things repetitively and perfect their craft. So autism has a misconception around it, and the disability as a whole, that they can't do anything. They should live off handouts. Yeah, they can earn. Even people that are disabled themselves. Now that I'm president, Persons with Disability Uganda in WEFA, I talk to them and I tell them, you can do it. Like, you, a person with a disability, please display your ability for other people to appreciate you. While we are shouting, no, give us space, give us space. Why should they? Show them why they should give you space. Yeah. So even persons with disability, they like living off handouts, free things. Sukari. Like, now we are giving them offers of legal what? Basokanga tebeabyagale bagala sukari mbele bagende. You're like, no, I want you to earn your own sukari, earn your own mele. So I'm creating job opportunities for you.
Okay, so how best do you think society can support these people?
I think just be receptive. Just be receptive and support them. You know, Uganda tulimeka, population ya felimeka. Is it 74 yet million?
Kumpi.
Cat persons with disability, they are like 7 million. At most 14. Imagine even if we had 30 people dedicated on supporting a person with a disability. Now I'm taking her on. As you see how companies have corporate social responsibilities. Now when go me as Ramonah, I have my social responsibility to help this particular person. Of course, I've said it before and they said, we have our own Africanacity of no, but if you go away from relatives, let me pick one person with a disability, because this person clearly physically or mentally cannot help themselves at some point. And you say, let me support this person. Even if we got 20 people doing that, it will be a much, much better space for persons with disabilities.
Okay. So you speak with so much passion for this. What is that one thing that keeps you motivated? With everything when you wake up in the morning, you're like, even if I'm tired, even if I don't have, maybe sponsors haven't come through or I haven't won a donation, what is that keeps you motivated?
Them. The beneficiaries, they keep me going. Like on my birthday, I get cards from, there is this child, I want this navigator in Amikon. I'm particular note on all my birthdays. And it's the sweetest thing. And you wake up to messages and just seeing them being included. Now, recently, MTN sponsored the autism walk and awareness. You know how long that thing has happened? Just to get MTN's attention?
Yeah.
Just achieving those things and seeing people come in to help persons with disability. I feel I'm going somewhere. Like, I've seen lives that have changed because of Fena Tujune. And I'm like, even if I died tomorrow, honestly, even if I died tomorrow, I would die a happy person. I feel like I've done something, you know? Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone transitioning from pageantry that would want to venture into something like that, humanitarian work? What advice would you give them? Because some people, you find someone and you're like, but I think this person started this thing just for money.
Yeah. I think, especially humanitarian, it's a calling. It's a calling. You know how I keep saying I do TikToks. So because I did psychology, a course in human psychology and behavior, it helps me talk to people on TikTok emotionally and mentally, talk to them. I keep telling people, not everyone is designed for marriage. Did you know?
Oh yeah, true. Even the
marriage
Bible,
is purpose. Is what? Yes, it's purpose. You must be called to serve this purpose. You don't just get married because the other one is getting married. It will burn you.
True.
So the same thing with humanitarian work. You have to be called for it. Be sure it's your calling. Don't just do it because you feel sorry. If you feel sorry, like I said, go get one person to help quietly. But you must be sure that this is your calling. It stresses you. For me to get funding or support, it took me 4 years of doing this. And it was you guys. It was my friends, the runners, Vani, picking clothes and saying, let's go. For as long as we have fuel, let's go.
Let's go, yeah.
So by the time people come through and they start making you president, wait for Africa, you do this, you've gone through it. You better be in it for the love of it. Because I closed my events company totally and focused on this. I closed a money-making project to do this because it was my calling. And I was so sure it was my calling. I asked God again and again, is it? He said yes.
Yeah.
So you don't do it because whenever I see those people, I feel bad. I'll do something. I'll start an organization. My friend, this is not it. This is a job where you're called for it.
You're called, yeah.
There are two things: humanitarian work, NGO or life. You must be called for it. And marriage, you must be called for it. You must ask God to give you signs. Is it? Is it?
Is it?
You know, be sure it is. So yeah, you but be sure it's your calling.
We're recently seeing a meme of a girl was praying and she was telling God, show me a sign that this man is not for me. And she disappeared herself. Exactly. So God was trying to show her that I don't think you're ready for marriage.
Exactly.
By the time you were the wrong one in the whole equation, you were the wrong person.
You're the wrong one. You're
So
not there.
your whole time in pageantry, sorry to take you back, what is that one thing that experience that really, really changed your life from pageant? That one thing you feel like, I think if I didn't take part in pageant, I wouldn't have gotten to learn this about myself.
I think there were many. I'm trying to pick out one. The one thing. We had a trainer called Sarah Nyamwenge. She believed in me more than I believed in myself. I feel she was a blessing for me. She pushed me even on the finale. Remember how I dropped my car? Elephant. My elephant had fallen. I was so touched my elephant more than the lights. She pushed me there, and towards the end, I think she realized I wasn't there for the crown. So she was like, "But you can get it, even if you're not there for, you're not here for it. You can get it. Give it your all. Go!" Like she pushed me, and every time I have a setback, and sometimes I do things knowing money change so I better get what I want and go. I got an extra mile because of what I got from pageant. I went an extra mile because kumaliza that's something that helped me learn how to do an extra step.
Okay. If you had to go back to that Ramonah of 2015, raw as she was, she didn't know about pageant, she didn't know, she was just straight from events. What advice would you give her compared to the experience that you've had now in life with everything? What advice would you give that Ramonah then that was in 2015?
I'll tell her to live in the moment. I think I went through that pageant not living in the moment. I would have enjoyed it a lot more, but I was self-cautious. I was more worried about my events. They were stuck for those months we were moving around. I was paying attention to things that really didn't matter so much. If I went back to that girl, I would ask her to go in full heart. And mind. Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned you take as a psychologist, you have moments on your social media where you're giving advice to people about relationships, and you've gotten a very big audience. People have started to now listen into the advice that you give. Do you feel like girls that take part in pageants, or men, do you feel like it has an effect on how they show up in relationships?
Definitely.
With people around them, with a love relationships? So do you feel like pageants have an effect to that?
Definitely. I even talk to parents I meet that as a psychologist now, I understand that taking part in things that challenge you grooms you into a confident human being. emotionally it builds you up. It gives you this tough skin. It exposes you, and people who are parents are now very busy. Mothers are too busy, fathers are busy. They are there on Sundays and they try to make it up on Sunday on this one day. But children need close attention emotionally. Ask them how their day was. Communicate, build that connection that is healthy. Not the connection, but a healthy connection of mother, father, child. We don't get that. And there are things you learn in pageants that your home will not teach you.
Yeah, right.
We learned etiquette, how to sit, how to eat, like knives and forks, things like that. As a parent, of course, knife and fork, attentive parents will teach you.
Yeah,
but there are etiquettes that I see even in boardrooms. Like I sit in a boardroom and you find a woman, she's studied, she has masters here, and she's sat like that. Like the whole time you're in a boardroom, she's sat like that, she lean back. Those are small little things that you can only get from a pageant.
True.
I don't know which other thing that grooms girls like that, but I feel for girls I would recommend pageants in a health manner. Of course, there are things that are unhealthy that go on, but if you guide and be supportive of your daughter while they are doing it, they'll get something out. It's pageantry. For boys, it's sports. Sports also boost a boy's confidence in their body, in how they feel, how they express themselves, because they work out, they sweat, they are competitive. And this life, you need that energy of being competitive and confident and stand firm. Boys get it mostly from sports. There are some girls also that get it from sports, but if you have a girl like me who likes grace, kindness, calmness, a pageant would help you. With these things,
So there's a way the community, people, view beauty queens, and over the time we have been seeing how beauty queens struggle in relationships. We've seen beauty queens struggle to keep long-lasting relationships, actually lead to marriage. You find, they have children, but you'd feel like you would want her to have like a successful marriage, with children, raising children, and a beautiful family. So what do you think, what could be the reason? Do you think we are showing
I want us
up?
to discuss this with you. This one. I want us.
There's an effect from taking part in pageants that is affecting the way we show up in love relationships, and this is why maybe
it's how people perceive us. Like, because there are people, I've heard someone say, if when a girl takes part of pageantry and beauty things, they are all about their beauty, about themselves. Because you draw your eyebrow and look good, they are like, you're all about your beauty. You have less concern about everything else. But you, taking it back to you before I continue, what do you think causes this? Because I've even had people say, because I'm getting married, people are saying, hey, because you're a beauty queen, we didn't think Osola no fumba, Why do you think?
I think that one, sometimes when you take part in a pageant, you see yourself as very beautiful. I'm the most beautiful girl in the room. It comes with that confidence, but then you forget that you feel like things should draw to you, not you try to draw to a person. And relationships are a two-way thing. I get to understand you get to understand me as a person, and you get to understand my values. So most times I think we feel like people should, by default, they should want to marry us, or by default they should want to be with us, despite our personal characters that can actually turn off someone. But because we have that thing of...
So what they say is true, that the girls, beauty queens are all about themselves and their beauty,
but I think like...
I don't think all...
With time, when you get to find out who you really are and what you stand for, I think you can actually find love.
You can, and also I've seen beauty queens who go above and beyond for marriage and for other things. I actually feel a beauty queen would make, if you find a good one, but you're right, there are those ones who are just about their pretty face and their walks, but a beauty queen who understands the assignment of taking part in a beauty pageant, understands that you live with a purpose. You hardly find a beauty queen living for after.
Oh yeah, true.
They know what they're about. They are intentional with everything they're doing. If they don't love you, they don't love you. They will play with you. I've played with guys.
Yeah.
Like, I don't love you, but I'll eat your money. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll love them.
Yeah.
So, but they know what they want. You just need to understand them. And my fiance told me recently that if he had known I took part he's not so sure he would want to marry me, because he also had that perception of beauty queens are about their beauty. They don't cook. They just want to draw eyebrow extensions and look good on events and work hand in hand with their husbands. And thank God he wasn't on social media. He didn't know that part of me. But then after being with me, he realized it's different. And I told him, you just have to give someone a chance to know that they can still be everything. I actually feel they can do even better than a girl and boom, marriage.
So on this journey that you've taken, you know, as a psychologist, you sometimes take time to get to know yourself more, discover yourself more. Could you say you are the same Ramonah then before pageant and now?
No, at all. No, not at all. The Ramonah before was fake. She was so fake. She was lame. She was a bit creative, but she wasn't more confident. Now I speak up for myself. When I want something, I'll tell you. When I don't want something, I'll tell you. Before, I'll just let it pass. I was very dismissive. Like, I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah.
But now that you go through, like you said, psychology and human behavior teaches you to be aware of yourself. And treat yourself the way you want others to treat you. So if you're shy, you're dismissing everything about yourself, people will dismiss you. They will dismiss everything about you. And you'll be wondering, but it's me that you're not taking serious. Why? I do well. Because before pageant, I was doing well in my events company. I was one of the best people with ushers and sales, and customer care was one of the best, but other people were given more money than I was, because I was also dismissive. So easily, like, unless they really picked my character and they're like, she's good, let's keep her, but you would easily dismiss me, which is different from now. Now you can't easily dismiss me, because when I'm in a room, I'm in a room. I'm speaking, I'm saying, you understand? So what was the question?
Your journey to self-discovery.
Yes.
So
I discovered I'm not the same. I'm totally not the same. I'm aware. I'm sure of what I want. I know how to treat myself. I know how to let people treat me. I can let you treat me funny because I've let you do that. But if I don't want you to do it, you will not do it. I got to understand that I have that power. And that's what I teach people on my TikTok, that you do have the power. It's you who's doing everything that is happening to you. Like, men are sleeping with you and living. You're doing it to yourself. You're letting it happen. You understand? So I realized I have this power. I used to be the person agamba, let God's will be done. If it has happened, it was designed to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. I didn't know that as a person, God blessed us with this power. Like, with faith, you can create anything, say anything, create anything. It's not about him. He doesn't know. You know, if you let him do, even Satan is doing. You understand? So you're leaving it to the universe. Satan is doing. You're thinking it's God's will. No, you have to fight for it. You have to create. That's something I discovered after understanding human psychology and behavior and how the universe works.
You are someone who is one of the people that I know who are very religious. Like, you were strong Catholic, you know. You hold your values so close to your heart. Is there a time where you felt like your values were being compromised, having taken part in a pageant, where you felt like you had to choose, you know, between what you stood for as a Catholic and maybe you were faced with the challenge? Could be pageantry, could be life, work.
After the pageant, I got a very good offer with a big brand I won't mention here. They just saw my face and they wanted me to take part in their campaign. But their campaign required me wearing a bra and a knicker. I'm like, not happening.
With your rosary that never leaves your neck.
You know, and they were talking this out. Like, no, this will bias people. If they are Muslims, they will think it's a Catholic brand. And now you have to take out your medal and wear this. And I said, I can't. My religion does not let me.
Yeah.
You know. Also, if you want to take out my medal, why?
Why?
I want to show off my religion. It's I've been put in space. Not just that. I've been put in spaces. I think even with Miss Tourism, there was a part where we had to wear bikini.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I can't show off my body like that, you know? So I took me back, and I remember we exchanged a bit with the trainer about that bit that I told them, and they were taking our pictures. Remember, with the hat, they were taking pictures. They want me to wear them. I'm like, I was very uncomfortable. I'm telling you. I'm like, can't I just skip this part? But besides that, there have been so many other opportunities of typically modeling. They want you on billboards, but they want you dressed a type of way. And I've turned down almost all because they want me to remove my medal. Yeah, so I don't compromise my religion or my faith or my values for nothing.
For nothing. Okay, so as someone who is into events, you know, you've organized some good events. What do you feel like pageants in Uganda, when it comes to organization, organizing the events and all that, what do you feel like is really missing? You know, if you've had the chance to look at very nice events that are being organized around. Yeah.
First of all, with pageants, you see what you're doing here? They should have done this a long time ago. Because girls are out there, they don't know what happens to us after the lights are out. Because you're not going to see me if you had not invited me here. And of course, when I'm president, persons with disability, you think I'll talk about pageants? No, I can't. Because I know it even creates a certain image that I don't want. They should show and inspire girls more. Or it's not about the crown. No. And if there is another girl out there who wants to take part of any beauty pageant, please go in it to learn. Just have an open and receptive heart to learn. Everything they teach you there will help you in life, not on that finale. In life as a whole. The walk, even girls who have gone through pageants, they walk well. Even if I'm in a band, I see someone walking in, I will know this one is a pageant girl. This is a model. They walk so nice. It's something that we should know as we're organizing these pageants. Let's motivate. Let's create awareness, sensitize what are they called? The public.
The public, yeah.
About this. Pageants, Bambi, they're not for selling people. Of course, there are those early days where, chaperones used to sell girls to rich people. But not anymore. Now it's musicians they are selling. Now girls should know that this is something that trains them. And it's not just about the crown. It's not just... I feel in my year, I don't know about everyone else. You're doing well, Enid is doing well, but I feel in our year, I've earned so much from that pageant than the queen who was crowned.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah.
I've earned contracts. I've earned status. I've earned space. That if it wasn't for Miss Tourism Uganda, I guarantee you I would not have these things. So let's sensitize public a lot more. This girl, I feel bad when they criticize her, Dr. Jan Moshibi. She's doing well. But just because they say, she was a beauty queen once, they don't believe in her strength, her abilities. She has left UK a good job just to come in and give back to her mother country. And they are bashing her for it. And women are like, she's after money, she's going to be screwed around. They look at beauty queens as that, like just sex objects, just beautiful creatures walking, and that's it. There is so much more to a beauty queen that the public should know. So what you're doing here, I feel and I believe it will sensitize people on what happens after. It's actually a beautiful life after the pageant.
So what's next for Ramonah? And in business, in events? What is Ramonah up to at the moment? What would people expect from her?
Yeah.
Where is Fenatujune heading?
I'll start with Fenatujune. I see more people with disabilities getting jobs in proper workspaces, not to be a carpentry, money, hairdressing, in proper workspaces. It's what I'm fighting for. I have 5 years of being president. And I'm working with organizations, I'm writing, I'm seeing more inclusion happening in these 5 years and more, because even after being a president, I'll continue serving this community. I see Fenatujune being remembered as an organization that did not leave the community of persons with disability the same. They'll be more seen. You see them more. You see them on TV. You see them in events. You will see them. They'll be more included. And that's a fact. And I believe and I hope God gets us there.
Amen.
Then as a person, I've been called to be a wife now. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes. So I look forward to serving my husband, serving my purpose as a wife. I'm going to a bit slow down on this other life. Of course, I'll still work with Fenatujune, but now I have another job. Yeah, expect me as a mother, as a wife, doing well, and also fighting for persons with disabilities.
As for someone, we've always pictured marriage. I remember I would always be on Pinterest finding out, this is how I want my hair to look.
I wasn't part of it.
And you were always like, but why? Like, you guys, there is more to life. So I'm seeing you have that view about marriage and
trust me, I disturbed God. I'm like, this is Rona's thing. Marriage, it should be you, Rona, getting married. You're called for that. I have never envisioned myself as a wife. I have never really envisioned myself having children. Even now that I'm getting married, I get a hard time picturing myself as a mother.
As a mom, yeah.
But like I said, when God calls you for something, he makes a mark and says, you do it. So while we were talking, I saw you need to be wives, proper wives, not myself. You remember I used to tell you and say, no. No, I'm okay. But now I've asked God, is it? Won't it stop me with my work? Won't it distract me? He's like, if it distracts you, I would want it to distract you.
So where there is life, there is a way.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy for you. So I can't wait for you to take on that journey.
Thank you.
Yeah. And when something happens to someone, they deserve it. So I always told, when I told you last time, I'm like, it happened at the right time because you deserve it.
Yeah.
It was supposed to happen at this time. Yeah. After all you've gone through, this time was the one that God chose and said, Ramonah, now this is the time. So we could sit here and just the whole day, but
I want to ask you also one last question. What got you started? Because I know you've always had your passion around pageantry and all that. What got you started with? Because I see you have Empower and this. What got you really started? Because you were in a corporate market for a while, a long time. Deloitte, World Vision, here and there. And I really felt you were not serving your purpose. I don't know. But now just seeing you, I saw you on LinkedIn. I'm like, yes, finally. What got you started?
I think I've always not... whenever I was at work, like behind a desk and doing all these things, I always found fulfillment when it came to events in office that involved reaching out to people, women, and I would give it my all.
Yes.
Yeah? And one time a boss of mine told me, Rona, you're not meant to be behind the desk.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, you deserve, your mind can do so much than sitting behind the desk. So I was like, okay. So one day I woke up and I'm like, no, I need the job that allows me to work from home because it's the only way I would serve my purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. And also the love for pageants, and I love seeing people go through, doing something that you've put in your whole heart.
Yes.
And also having to achieve something, I always tell girls, you cannot go through a pageant, put on all that money, buy a national costume, and then go back to streets like you are never in this pageant. Like something
Yes.
should change about you. So loving to see the good out of people.
Oh yeah, you like perfecting
I
people.
like perfecting people.
My God.
I
I
feel like
even went to Google about Virgo because of you. And when I Googled, I wasn't disappointed. They're like, Virgos, they are perfectionists. You like
yeah, so
perfecting girls.
it's a thing of mine, and so I felt like the world needs to know that beauty queens are more than
Yeah.
what they see. You know, there are amazing women that have done amazing things. They may not be so out there, and I don't know them,
Yeah.
but they have actually done amazing things. And I felt like this is the space where I could be able to achieve that. And
Oh, you
I'm
did
so
well.
yeah, and I feel like I'm so fulfilled right now. Coming on set every day with a different lady, I feel like I am fulfilling that purpose that I have.
Yeah. I'm glad you're doing well. You're
Yeah.
doing well, finally.
So that is it. That is the whole thing. But I would like to say thank you so much. You know, when I told you I'm going to invite you, like, no, just tell me the time and the day, and
I'll be there. Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm so happy that you're here because you're some of those people that have really done something. You went through pageant, and where you are right now, a young girl out there would want to know something. You didn't win a pageant.
No,
but
I didn't.
there's so many things you've achieved. And
Yes.
that means that it's not the end of the world if you don't win, but there is actually more to it. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll always say the crown may be temporary, but the impact lasts a lifetime.
Lifetime.
See you
Yeah.
next time.